So this is my talking points or subjective review of what I think Final Fantasy, at least from 1 to 6 on that scale, is whether good or bad. And I think my argument standard from my point of view is that Final Fantasy 2 is the only good one of the series. And I kind of gotta explain why. And I guess because I like the never-ending story, book, and movie, and I feel like the game itself is very serious of epic proportions. But to sum it up shortly, Final Fantasy One is very unbalanced, and that's why it's not a fun game. Even if you could argue that they fixed this with the Pixar Master, the point is originally this is a horribly designed game, so I'm gonna put it on the low scale of just not very playable and fun. And this is where Final Fantasy 2 comes in, and that's the perfection of a turn-based RPG in the Final Fantasy series. Because there is epic proportions, there is essentially it just perfected what a good Final Fantasy game should be about. It's just very interesting, it's very engaging, it's very addicting, fun in a fun way. It doesn't bore you in a sense. And I guess I'm gonna talk why I don't really see Final Fantasy 3, 4, and 5 as very good designed ones, in the sense of trying to get me swallowed up into the game. And the main reason is they feel too whimsical. Like you could put like a Benny Hill song over it, and it would just feel the same. It's not this grand adventure of epic proportions and set scale of this adventure. It's more whoop de doo, some comedic elements, and that's it. Like it just kind of drags, and it just is not that very well made and designed. In the sense that it kind of I feel it kind of fools you if you're thinking that this is gonna be some epic adventure and it's just kind of silly, really. This is the kind of so that's really it. I never get in any enjoyment of playing those. So that's just what my view on those games are. It's a reason why I think Final Fantasy X2 is actually a better game in compared to Final Fantasy 3 and 5. Which has the class job system, but Final Fantasy X2 kind of feels more realistic, and I can like play it without having this whole feeling of Benny Hill song over it. It's just rock music, and it's pretty fun. It's just a fun game. Um, Now Final Fantasy 6, that one I've talked about, but that's one is like my least favorite, and think I pretty much explained that in my official review, but main reason is obviously because the design of it doesn't complement the overly serious game design to it. For example, let's take Sabin versus Vargas. Like they are supposed to be brothers, I think, and just look at how the big size of Sabin is here, and compare it to Vargas. It just looks stupid. Like I feel like this tries to be sort of like Nosferatu on Super Nintendo or Oddworld on PS1 in terms of it's supposed to make me sucked in and care, but due to the design, it just makes me laugh at how bad it looks because this doesn't do anything. Like if you are gonna make this very serious game with very serious themes, you're gonna have to have a design that makes me care for it. If not, then it kind of fails. And that's why I consider really Final Fantasy 6 to be the worst in the series, really. And yeah, that's like my take on it. But yeah, this is in terms of objective reviews. I guess I made them in terms of retrospective, but on a subjective level, I can't really say that I like any of the old classic Final Fantasy except two. Two is like hands down the best one made. So in my view, if you are supposed to play one of those old ones, skip all the others and just stick with two. Two is really the only one you kind of need. It's just the epic proportions, and it's just very engaging gameplay. It's just very fun. You're not gonna regret it. And I guess people say, that I complained about Final Fantasy 6 looking weird, and they say, well, don't all Final Fantasy games look like that in terms of artwork versus the small character design you play? Well, the difference here is Those games weren't all over the series. I mean, sure they could have it, but it kind of blends a little bit with the fun aspect of kind of using your imagination. Whereas six, I kind of felt they tried to make it too overly serious, and they drew too much of that serious stuff into the uh, what you thought and the overall design of the game, and that's why it Final Fantasy VI just didn't work because the design of it was ambitious, serious, and it just kind of looks like a failed project if you really think about it. And that's why I consider it like the bottom line, the worst of the classic games of the Final Fantasy era. Before seven came, and seven kind of modernized. Um, in a sense, it's more like you kind of go home from school and play it for fun, and just do homework or something. But like Final Fantasy 1 to 6 was sort of meant to suck you into the world, and it was sort of essentially made to kind of immerse you into some sort of type of world. I think was kind of the effect it had. Whereas seven and upwards is more, it's just fun. In terms of style and such. Yeah, but that's in my opinion on it. I like Final Fantasy 2. I like the leveling up system. I like the immersion it does. So that's just my subjective take here. So yeah, thank you for listening and bye.